Hey, what's up? In this video, we're going to be talking about how do you grow a church part 2. Now, don't worry if you haven't seen part 1 because all of the tips and strategies in this video will work independently of the strategies we talked about in part 1. So let's dive in. Hey, what's up? My name's Chris Abbott, and I've helped thousands of churches attract thousands of new visitors. And in this video, we're going to be specifically breaking down 5 things that you can do in order to increase your impact, reach more people, and grow your church. In fact, I'm going to share with you a strategy that a church in Texas used to get 75 new families in a single week, and another that helped a church of 40 get 55 new visitors in only 4 weeks. Coming up. All right, so first up, you want to create a landing page on your website. Now, this is going to be different from your home page. It's different from your about page. It's different from your new here page. You want to set up specifically a plan your visit landing page. And the only call to action on this page is going to be plan your visit. So your church is a smiling, happy, friendly atmosphere, and we want to make sure that all of the photos and videos convey that to potential visitors, right? Because if they're going through something, or if they're looking for community, or they're looking for a great place to raise their kids, we want to show them that your church is exactly that, and the best way to do that is with photos. Now, something to note is when you're having people actually sign up for Plan Your Visit, one of the best ways to do this is with a tool like Text in Church, where you can actually put a Plan Your Visit button on your website, and it'll actually walk people through Plan Your Visit. I'm a huge fan of Text in Church, and I've literally seen this bring in thousands of Plan Your Visits for churches all over the country. And if you try embedding a Plan Your Visit form on your website, it pretty much never works. So you definitely want to have some type of software or button where people can plan your visit. Again, my favorite is Text in Church. So if you click on the link in the description below, you can actually try Text in Church out for 90 days, absolutely free. That way you can plan your visit on your website. You can use some of their follow-up systems. You can even use it to contact your volunteers and people inside your church. Pretty cool software. I don't work for Text in Church. I'm just a big fan. All right, number 2, invite cards. Invite cards are kind of a lost art these days. A lot of people forget about these, but they can be really, really effective. And one of my favorite things is that you can get 10,000 invite cards for about $150. So if you go to clubflyers.com, you can get 5,000 business card invites for $50, and you can get 5,000 4x6 cards for about $100, right? So $150, you have 10,000 invite cards that you can arm your congregation with, that you can leave around town, that you can put around the church. And this just makes a really easy, low barrier of entry point for your congregation and your people to be able to invite their friends and neighbors. This helps them overcome the awkwardness of inviting people in the community or their neighbors to church, right? So if they're out at a restaurant, it might be kind of hard to strike up a conversation about church or Jesus with the waiter, but super simple to be able to leave an invite card for them. All right, number 3, the Thunderclap. Now, I'm a huge fan of this, but you can only use it once or twice a year, so you got to be careful. I recommend using this around like maybe Christmas or Easter or maybe even back to school, some type of big, huge push when a lot of people are naturally coming back to church anyway. I originally learned about this from my friend, Pastor Steve John, who did this at his church, and they literally did it for Palm Sunday. So they were utilizing Plan Your Visit, and they'd had about 25 people signed up for Plan Your Visit about a week out. And so they decided to do the Thunderclap on Monday, and between Monday and Saturday, they went from 25 Plan Your Visits to 75, and they did it absolutely free because they simply took advantage of the organic reach on Facebook. So it's pretty simple. Here's what the Thunderclap does. Now, we call it the Thunderclap because it's basically going to create an invite echo that's going to reverberate all throughout social media. So about a week out, you want to stand up on Sunday morning and you want to ask your entire congregation for on either Monday or Tuesday to just create a quick selfie video and post it on either Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, and basically just talk about what God's doing in their life and then invite them to church, right? So if it's on Easter, let's say maybe you're talking about why do bad things happen to good people on Easter, you just want to ask your congregation to get up, create a quick 30-second video talking about what God has done in their life and what he's doing at the church, and then have them invite all their friends out to hear why do bad things happen to good people on Easter Sunday, right? Super simple, but when you have a couple dozen or even a couple hundred people that end up posting this on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the echo goes all throughout social media. While organic reach on your church Facebook page is only about 3%, when people post on their personal profile, it goes out to way more people. And so it goes out to all their friends and family. And so all throughout your entire community, you're going to get all of this organic reach and this huge thunderclap, this social echo that's going to reverberate throughout the entire city. And it's absolutely free. All right, so before I get to my last couple of points, comment below. I want to know, out of the strategies from part 1 or part 2, or maybe something I haven't even even mentioned yet, right? What are some of your favorite strategies for how to grow your church? I want to hear about it. Make sure you post them in the comments below. All right, next up, Google. Now, this is crazy, but 91% of people never go past page 1 of Google. In fact, I used to have a web design company a couple of years ago, and there's an old web designer joke that says, hey, where's the best place to hide a body? On page 2 of your Google results. 91% of people never go past page 1. So it's really, really important to be able to get your church on page 1. So let's talk about real quick, what are some of the strategies you can do to get on page 1 of Google? All right, so there's basically 2 different ways. Number 1 is SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. And number 2 is Google AdWords, right? So search engine optimization, there's actually 2 different types of search engine optimization. One of them is global and the other is local. Now, brands like Coca-Cola or McDonald's, they want to optimize for global search engine results because it doesn't matter where in the world you're looking for something to drink, they want Coca-Cola to pop up in front of you. But as churches, the only thing we're worried about is local. These are people that are typing in best Wichita churches or best church in my city, right? And they're looking for something like that. We don't care if we're popping up over in China or even if we're popping up in another state. We only want to make sure that we are ranking in our city. So the best way that you can take a look at your local search engine optimization is by going to moz.com/local. And they actually have a free report on there where you can take a look and get a score and figure out exactly how you're doing in your local SEO. And chances are, if you haven't done anything with this, your score is not going to be very high, but they can actually walk you through some of the things that you want to do. The most important thing to understand is that SEO is a long-term strategy, right? There's no Google switch that you can just flip and automatically go from page 56 to page 1, right? If there was, everybody would do it. And so this is a long-term strategy. It typically takes 6 to 12 months or maybe even years to rank for some of the high competitive keywords. So let's talk about number 2, which is my personal favorite way, because that can get you on page 1 of Google today. All right, so next up we have Google AdWords. Now, the best part about this is Google AdWords, they are the little ads that appear at the top of page 1 of Google whenever you're searching for something. So you've probably seen this before. If you go in and you type something like best churches in Tulsa, or even if you're looking for a product, right at the top, there'll be little ads and those will come up first before all of the search rankings. This is a great way to get on page 1 of Google immediately. So you could literally create an AdWords campaign today and immediately be on page 1 of Google by the end of the day, right? So one of the best things about churches is Google even has a program called the Google Grant Program, and they will actually give you up to $10,000 a month in free Google AdWords. I'm not making that up, and it's as good as it sounds, right? You can actually Google it. It's called the Google Grant, and literally you can get $10,000 a month in free Google AdWords for your church. The only thing that you have to have is you have to actually have a 501(c) and be a nonprofit, and you have to be registered with both Google nonprofits and with TechSoup. So it takes a couple of minutes to get everything approved, but once you do, every single month, you literally have $10,000 of Google's money to use to tell people about the gospel. So I actually got my church approved for the Google Grant a couple of years ago, and I'm telling you, it's as good as it sounds. Literally, I was sending between 6,000 and 8,000 people every single month to my church website to tell them about Jesus or about scripture or about God's promise to heal, literally using Google's money. Pretty cool. All right, and number 5, chatbots. Now, I feel like chatbots get kind of a bad rap because it's such a weird word, right? It's kind of like the cloud when it first came out, right? It's like, oh, don't worry, those files are saved in the cloud. It's like, what the crap's the cloud, right? Where exactly is it, right? Everybody kind of understands what the cloud is now, and the same will be true for chatbots here in a couple of years, but they're still so new, and there's so few churches using them that most people have no idea what they are. Basically, a chatbot is just a simple automated sequence that lives inside of Facebook Messenger. So these are predetermined responses inside of Facebook Messenger. A friend of mine who pastored a church of 40 people used Facebook ads that ran into Facebook Messenger and then used a chatbot to ask people how he could pray for him, and then invited them to church and used Plan Your Visit all through an automated chatbot. That church of 40 people had over 200 prayer requests in the first 4 weeks and had 55 people who actually planned a visit, meaning they signed up and gave their name, email, and phone number and scheduled a visit to go to his church, right? Pretty daggone cool. Church of 40 people, 200 prayer requests, and 55 people that planned a visit to his church in the first month. All right, so if that sounds interesting to you and you are interested in having me and my team actually set up that same exact system for your church, just head on over to churchgrowthagency.com or click on the link in the description below, and you can watch the free video over there, and then we can hop on a call and talk about what it would look like for us to set up that same exact system for your church.